Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of September. I hope you are well. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot for you today. Here it is. Right. Oh my god. Right. Put those straight. Let's see what's going on with you. Can I have 3 cards for Libra, please? Cool. I'm not taking all of those, that's far too many. We've got the Knight of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Two of Wands and the Knight of Wands. They may become relevant, but I'm going to shuffle them back in. Tell me what's going on for Libra, please. Thank you. We have the Three of Wands coming out in somewhat of a sideways fashion. So we're going to keep it like that. We'll see what the clarifiers say, see if it needs to go one way or the other. But I do pay attention when the cards come out sideways, because I'll get into it in a second. Tell me about current energy, please, for Libra. Thank you. We have, whatever this is, we have the World in reverse. And one more, please. And we have the Ace of Pentacles here. Right. I actually like this. We've got the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck here with the Nine of Cups too. It feels like there's an energy of frustration at the moment because things aren't quite moving at the pace that you would like them to. I'm going to get some clarifiers. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. But, you know, that Three of Wands is, for me, it's a card of... It's a low-level card of manifestation because it's about the things that you do, you know, to bring whatever experiences you decided in the Two of Wands were important for you. But there isn't any movement there yet, right? It's not in reverse, so it's not like there's no movement altogether. It just feels like it's frustratingly slow. And so too it would be with the World. Now, sometimes cards, when they appear in the reverse, can be, you know, the exact opposite of the meaning that they have in the upright. Sometimes it can be a delay on those things coming in. You certainly have an ending, but the end of a cycle is not happening as fast as you would like it to. However, you do have that Ace of Pentacles for September. So, tell me about this Three of Wands, please. Thank you. We have the Ace of Cups. Oh, the two jumped out together there. We have the Hermit and the Moon. Both cards of introspection. This is a card of Virgo and this is a card of Cancer. Tell me about the World card. Thank you. We have the Eight of Cups. That's interesting. World card. Thank you. And we have the Hierophant. There's quite a bit of major arcana coming out for you here now, Libra. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles, please. Thank you. We have the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Swords. It's statistically very improbable how often those two cards come out together, by which I mean the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords. They're cards that speak of similar kind of themes, although they are different. And they always seem to come up together. Anyway, what you have here is the Judgment card at the bottom of the deck. Now, the Judgment card, like all of the tarot cards, is multivalent in so much as it can mean many different things. And one of the ways of looking at the Judgment card is a resurrection of old situations, old circumstances. Now, it's quite interesting to me that Mercury will be going into retrograde in your sign, I believe. Oh no, does it start? No, it starts in Virgo and then it moves into Libra and then it comes back to Virgo, I think. It starts in Libra. I'm not an astrologer, can you tell? I'm sure this Mercury retrograde is in Libra and then it goes back into Virgo. Perhaps if you are astrology minded, you might put down what's going on here because I haven't had time to go and look it up. But the point is, at least, we have a Mercury retrograde coming up in your sign, and then we have this card here that speaks about things coming up. We also have a process here that you are trying to undertake and becoming frustrated with the seemingly the lack of progress that you're making. But it feels to me like you're making more progress than you think you are. And there's a very necessary kind of step on the brakes just a little bit to make sure that you are dealing with all of the proper details of things. I mean, we see this here with this Three of Wands. Like I said, it's not making the progress that you would have liked to have made. If the Three of Wands was in the upright position, you know, everything is just sterling and we're kind of marching forwards towards whatever it was that we were after. But there's a halt here. There's a break. It's like, often when the cards come out sideways, I feel like it's a refusal to commit one way or another. Right? So maybe you've had recently this kind of, should I do this, shouldn't I? You know, kind of equivocating about it. It's like there's something that you really want to do. There's a direction that you really want to go in, but all of the reasons why it's not a good idea at this point could be showing up, or it could be no matter what you try and do, you're kind of being held in the same place, and that will be for a reason. The three cards that are underneath the Three of Wands here, Ace of Cups, the Hermit, and the Moon, it feels like this situation where you haven't quite made the progress that you wanted to has led you on some sort of introspective journey, because the Moon is very much about the internal experience, and it deals with those things that are hidden. Now, for me, in the way that I read the cards, that is the prime card of subconscious at work. And for it to be coming up with the Hermit, which is a card that speaks about taking an inward journey, it feels to me like you've been prompted to look at something. And then where are all the characters? So we've got the Moon there. Right? You can see the face on the Moon. You can see the Hermit. They're all pointing towards this Ace of Cups here. And when the card came out, it did feel like it was, for you, a case of working out what was important. Right? There's always the relationship with oneself that is indicated when we see the Ace of Cups, and I feel, actually, to be honest, that it means that more than it means anything else for the most part. But it's going inside and looking for these things. It's almost like you haven't been allowed to move forwards until the Ace of Cups is something that you have overtly acknowledged. Now, this Ace of Cups, what's this about? Thank you. That's interesting. We've got the Seven of Cups. Right? Another card that speaks about confusion. It often speaks about emotional illusion, actually. You know, we've got all of these cups here, cauldrons as they are in this deck, that are being shown to you, and it's like, you got to pick one. You're like, well, they're fucking hovering above the sea, fucking miles away from me. How am I supposed to pick the right one? And it feels like it's almost a trick question in some ways, because the cup that you need to choose is not one of these that's being proffered by these funny sky beings in the back. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. It's the one that you hold within yourself. It's like, where have you been looking outside of yourself for something, Libra? Where have you been trying to move just for the sake of it? Have you been trying to move in a direction to get you away from a situation rather than turning around and dealing with it? You know, that's possible. Because this Ace of Cups is the one that you hold inside of you. And whatever situation has stopped you from moving forward, at this point, it's been a very necessary pause, because you've had to go looking for this one rather than what is contained within these. Now, when we move into your current energy, we've got the World in reverse. Again, this idea of there being something that is not moving the way that you would like to. I mean, the World card is a card of having completed a cycle, right? It's a graduation. It is an end to something. It's the biggest card of culmination that there is. And from the World, we start the cycle again on the Fool. But with it being in reverse, that ending, that closing out of a cycle is not allowed to occur. And the cards that we have clarifying underneath are the Eight of Cups and the Hierophant. And the Hierophant's a card of Taurus there, but it is a card of that which is established, and in some ways feels like it will always be there because it always has been there, right? It's quite a creaky, quite a rigid energy there. There's not a lot of flexibility there. but we've got the Eight of Cups with it. And I wonder if what's going on here is that you've been trying to walk away from something that you haven't emotionally processed properly yet. Now, often the emotional processing happens way after we leave something behind. You know, we leave relationships, we can turn away from all sorts of things, and it can take us a very, very long time to process all of the emotion associated with that we have taken with us. But you seem to be required to deal with this now, ahead of time. What about this Eight of Cups? I've got the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's about the present. It's about the here and now. You don't get a chance. You're not, it seems to me, being permitted to move forwards until you deal with what is in your present right now. And what is in your present is highly emotional. The thing is, it's not serving you anymore. And there's something that is the thing that needs to be walked away from, rather than the situation. You know, are you trying to run towards something new without closing out and fully processing what was the old and why you're leaving that behind? I think that that's important because of this Mercury retrograde energy that we've got going on. You know, the retrograde's nothing to be frightened of, but it's not necessarily the best time for initiating something new. It tends to be about checking over what you have already done once, twice, 3 times to make sure that it has been done properly. It's not necessarily a good time for signing contracts and things like that. And if you have to, then make sure that you're getting a second pair of eyes on it. Make sure that you know what you are signing up for. Tell me about this Hierophant, please. Thank you. Got the Three of Pentacles. Again, appearing sideways. Thank you. And we have the Strength card, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you are being slowed down for a reason, Libra. And it feels like quicksand. The more you struggle against this, the harder you are going to be. Well, quicksand doesn't hold you harder, it pulls you down quicker the more that you struggle. This Three of Pentacles is an interesting card because it talks about cooperation and collaboration, working together with other people. Coming out underneath the Hierophant, we could see this as you potentially acquiescing to working with something that you know already very well, someone that you know very well, with a situation that you know very well. Almost like, I don't know, for some of you it feels like you've been swept along by circumstance, and for others of you, it feels like it's a very conscious, deliberate choice to move towards a state of commitment with something else without having tied up the loose ends that have occurred before. But the problem is that I don't think that this is necessarily a good route for you. You know, there are no bad cards on the table, really. I mean, there aren't any bad cards in the tarot. You know, there are just some... no card is all good or all bad. But this Knight of Pentacles, which is also talking about commitment, and we have 3 cards here that are talking about committing to something. We have the Strength card with that. And it's almost like whether what you're going towards is a good thing or a bad thing, you're not really in a position to commit to it until you deal with the emotion of what has been before. So this could be a relationship, that's possible. It could be all sorts of things. You have to take these things as they resonate with you. But again, we're seeing lots in the way of movement with these 2 knights here. Albeit one of the fastest and the slowest. But the Knight of Wands is headed that way, and the Knight of Pentacles is headed that way. It's like you need to go back to the drawing board, Libra, and have a look at what you have not been dealing with. Look at what is not giving you what you think it is, and close those things out before you start committing to something new. You know, maybe it's tying up loose ends with a job. That's possible. You know, there's a definite sense of using the retrograde energy to tie up the loose ends and emotionally pull yourself away from a situation before getting to a point where you can start to commit to something new and grow as a result of that. We've got the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here, and yeah, there's that idea of resources, energetic resources. You know, the pentacles for me are energetic currency. So whatever you can invest becomes a pentacle then, and that can be your time and your care and your effort, as well as your money or your love. You know, what are you invested in at the moment that you're trying to pull away from without necessarily processing the emotional ramifications of that? Because you need to pull all of your resources back to you in order to move forwards. Interestingly enough, the card that is underneath that is the Fool. Your new start is there. It's waiting in the wings, but you are rushing at this point. And the more you try and rush away without tidying up the loose ends, the more you're going to be held in place, the more frustrated you will become. You know, the final card that we've got here for what's coming towards you in September is the Ace of Pentacles, right? There is a new start, and it's a tangible one. It could be a new job, it could be a promotion, it could be a new house. Often it's some way of improving your material means. But if you look at this card in terms of energetic currency, what you've got is an opportunity to take that which you have to invest and deploy it elsewhere. Now, this energy here feels quite untidy, and particularly when we consider we've got this Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Like, everything has to be pulled back to you. It has to be tidied up. You have to know what it is that you've got in order to be able to deploy it elsewhere. Yeah, the opportunity arises for you to do it, but if you have not closed out what is going on here, what is making you feel frustrated and making everything feel untidy, you don't get an opportunity to do something with that opportunity. We've got the Eight of Pentacles and we've got the Six of Swords underneath there. It's almost like there's a possibility of you missing the opportunity if you try and rush too hard for it, rather than paying attention to what is already going on here. The Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles together is 9 pentacles, right? So opportunity plus hard work equals results. We know this, right? Maybe you're working hard to create the opportunity. That's possible too. But all 9 pentacles need to be in your hands and what's the word I'm looking for? Available for you to use. And they're distracted at this point here. You can't commit to something because you're distracted by the emotional stuff that's going on behind it. The Six of Swords is movement, but not of the sort, I think, that you were hoping for. It's not quite as clean. No, it is cleaner. I think that's kind of the thing. You are going to have to close some things out. It's the Tower that's come out to the side there with the Six of Swords. Maybe you're trying to start something new, but you're trying to take the old stuff along with you. I mean, the presence of the Tower here, and it is really quite a dramatic Tower, is an indication that you need to clear out your space. You need to clear out your energy, because things cannot stay the same. There's something about you wanting to keep things the same and yet go and do something else, and it's not going to be able to happen. Yeah, we've got the Hanged Man. Like, you need to change your perspective on what is going on here. There's a lot of major arcana for you. You know, we've got the Devil at the bottom of the deck here. Now, the Devil deals with all things. Actually, somehow the Fool has made it to the bottom of the deck behind the Devil too. The Devil deals with all those things that are toxic, right? So codependence, any kind of toxicity at all, addiction, just kind of crappy behaviour. But when you dig down into the meaning of the devil, what you end up with is fear. And if we are trying to take something along with us because we're afraid of leaving it behind, because of the consequences of that, then what's going to happen is we don't move, because we're absolutely attached to this old situation. We haven't released it in the way that we want to. The fact that the Fool is behind this devil here is really interesting to me, because it suggests that you need to go through the devil to get to your full energy. You have to confront what it is that scares you. And I think what scares you is the idea of leaving something behind entirely, because you don't have enough pentacles to do both things. And by that I mean your time, your care, your effort, your money, your love, And neither should you even try, because you won't get very far, I don't think, with this, Libra. What is required is a stiff broom right the way through your life, and that tower energy being brought by you, rather than allowing it to arrive all of its own accord, because it's going to be much more disruptive if it comes by itself than if you've brought it in. There is at least the ability to be able to direct the energy. In terms of personal growth and things like that, identifying those things that are keeping you stuck and trapped and in a state of fear, and then working on those, working through those, allowing the tower to happen and allowing your perspective to change is the route forwards. So it's a bit frustrating, but it's happening for a reason. And the more that you can honour that and work with that, the more swiftly this energy is going to start to release you, because you're releasing it, This is very interesting. If this has resonated with you, I am going over to Vimeo now to do an extended, so you're welcome to join me over there. The link for that is in the description box. Could alternatively join my Patreon community, but I am just about to jump ship from Patreon, so maybe hold off just a little bit while we complete our move. But I'll let you all know about that in due course. And if neither of those appeal to you at all, the best thing that you can do for yourself at the moment is to look at what you're not looking at. Right? See what it is that is keeping you stuck. Work out what the devil is, and then work out how to go through that now the other side. Because the frustration and whatnot will continue whilst everything is delayed. And everything is going to be delayed right up until the point where you decide that you are ready to leave behind what is trying to close out. I hope that makes sense. So, I shall leave it there. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.